3, 2, 1. I'm John Miglosh for the Wisconsin DMA and the International Society for Strategic Marketing. I just got an email from a friend who's presenting at the DMA show. And unbelievable, but he's doing a talk on mail. And he said it was standing room only. And a lot of people said it was the best session that was presented. Well, that's where we're headed. I've been telling you that for years, that eventually they're going to let us back in. It may be the best thing that ever happened, maybe the AMA buying the DMA, because now they're not so hung up on getting rid of all the experts and bringing in IBM. You know, ANA has tons of experts and stuff. So anyway, we're going to go on. Now, yesterday I did a news talk. Today I'm going to kind of cut that short because, you know, what I've discovered is that I can't describe the news stuff at the same time as I'm trying to do the teaching. So we're going to keep it teaching today. But I just wanted to point out, this is from October 10th, 2018. Just today, and it's about a session that's gonna be presented. I think it's being presented today from the Fall Festival of Marketing in London, and this workshop is going to cover customer tier RFM and product replenishment. So when I start telling you about RFM, and you start thinking, "Oh, that was invented in the '70s. It's not relevant." You know what? It's relevant. Over here, here's how to use RFM. The RFM model and analysis to drive growth. And I don't know if this will play, but we'll give it a try.
There is a little known about the RFM analysis in e-commerce. However, when using it, you can get a clear vision about what's working and what's not in your e-commerce. Who are your most important customers and who's your ideal customer profile?
Okay, well, not that this isn't a great talk. It's a great 6-minute talk. It's great. And if you're just getting started with customer segmentation, it's really great. The tricky part is, and this is why I bring a little different perspective, is because after 5 years, 10 years, RFM can give you a boost of profitability, but it tends to erode growth. And if the growth starts to plummet, you've got to know what to do. And so we're going to cover RFM in a bigger picture, so that you don't implement it and immediately shrink your company, which is what happened to a friend of mine this summer, just now. And we're praying for him because the hurricane is going past their front door in about another couple hours. Anyway, this is another article by the same company, no, by a different company, how to really understand your buyer persona using the RFM model. It was okay. This one wasn't as good as the other one. But the idea of it was solid, which is your best customers, if you can find them. It wasn't so much go get more like them, or it wasn't so much cut the waste, which are the two moves that really will kill you. Instead, it was, you know what? These best customers deserve greater money in contact and greater attention. Give them a call. Write them a handwritten note. Send them a sample. Give them extra coupons or something. Do something to keep them. Make sure that you keep them. Right here, good. You shouldn't focus on everyone. The hunter who chases 2 rabbits catches neither one. Thought that was really good. Okay, so anyway, those are up at issm.org on the right-hand column of the page there, and you can find them. So let's get back to the teaching part now. One of the reasons we're talking about RFM is a lot of companies get stalled. They aren't growing the way they once were, and sometimes they'll try to cut the waste, or sometimes they'll try to cut their prices, or they'll get into social media and spend a fortune, or who knows what, and that will erode their profit, or they'll have competitive pressure. That's what we were talking about here, which will erode their profit because somebody will knock off their products, like Amazon. We've talked about that a little bit, and we'll talk more in the future. A couple of solutions. One is, we got to have big data. That's going to fix it. Doesn't fix it. Another is customer segmentation, RFM, and another is line extension. All of those are good things. I'm not going to tell you that they're not good things, but in and of themselves, they are not enough to understand the problem and to fix it. Wizards, you want to go get a wizard to spin straw into gold. Computers give wizards a picture of what's going on, but some people can see beyond the numbers. And the truth is, the technology is fairly straightforward. Anything can find lumps in the soup, said John Worth, founder of Woodworker Supply of New Mexico. So we're going to talk a little bit about how wizards look at things. Okay, so if you remember the story of Rumpelstiltskin, which is a Brothers Grimm story, and if you don't, it's in my book if you can buy it, but you can find it online for free. But make sure it's the Brothers Grimm version. They're repurposing a lot of fairy tales these days. Okay, so the miller claims that his daughter can turn straw into gold. The king supplies lots of straw, rooms full of straw. He says to the daughter, if you don't spin this into gold by morning, I will kill you. I don't know why there was such a tight time frame on it, but I've always suggested that maybe marketing people should have some kind of sword of Damocles hanging over their head if they don't succeed. Rumpelstiltskin produces the gold. He turns up. I don't know how. When the teacher is ready, the student will appear, I guess. The queen guesses Rumpelstiltskin's name. And so how does that apply to the database marketing industry? The miller lies about money-making capabilities of his daughter, and the queen cheats Rumpelstiltskin out of his consulting fee. Both of those happen quite a bit in our field. Okay, but if we boil it down in the marketing industry, we have two big lies that keep coming up almost daily. I could put up an article every day saying, because we now have big data, because we now have attribution, because we have cookies, because we have IP lookup, because we have whatever we have, we know all about you. We know who you are, and we know where you live, and we know all about you. And because of that, and here's the biggest lie, we know what you'll buy. And even if we concede the first one, I know more about me than you know about me. I know my deep desires, my longings, my unfulfilled dreams. You don't know those because I didn't buy them yet. But in spite of all that, I don't know what I'll buy next. I don't. Sorry, if you take me outside of Walmart, I can give you a list. But when I go in, it's going to be different. They might be out of it. For a long time, you couldn't get 22 long rifle at all. At all. I don't know if you can now, but you couldn't get any. Now I think you can get really fancy ones and high price ones. But, not the brick of 500 for $20 or $10 or whatever it was when I started. Anyway, so they may be out. They may have changed the brands, or I may find impulse items I can't get in and out of a big store in any way, shape, or form, knowing what I'm going to buy. So on that, we know who you are. There's a huge mega database, and there isn't, especially in B2B. I was trying to find a guy who switched jobs, and he didn't put his phone number up on LinkedIn. And I called the company, and you get a recording, a huge company with offices in 3 or 4 different countries. You get a recording, nobody calls you back. I finally went on LinkedIn and found somebody who worked there who was a second level, asked him if they wanted to connect, went through all this rigmarole just to find this one guy, and he was annoyed that I'd done this to somebody. It's like, hey, all I asked her for was give me a phone number where I can call and, get a switchboard. Anyway, we don't. If we know it all, we're not telling everybody. Okay, the next principle is straw is not hay. Straw, they cut the tops off the wheat. Take the wheat, make bread out of it, and the stalk and all the rest of it is worthless. And what they do with it is they put it under animals to catch what comes out of animals. That's what straw is. It looks golden, but it's not valuable. Hay is valuable. Hay is what you feed animals. But this is straw. And so what happens is you got to understand your data is mostly worthless. It wasn't created for marketing mostly. It's a byproduct of browsing or tweets or some other craziness. The data must be turned into variables. That's going to be a central theme of this. Okay? So technology is important. Spinning straw into gold takes magic, and magic makes you money. And we'll go on with this. That was a good break. Something to think about. Get your thoughts going. If you like this video, hit like and share. The archives are on YouTube if you look up Miglosh Marketing, or there are links available. Have a great